Hey everybody, my name is Sherri Divband. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Instead of doing another 3D interference episode, which I have many more to do, I want to pivot a little bit today on some spiritual protection and the animal kingdom, and how we can call upon the animal kingdom to guide us, to protect us in such profound ways. And I want to start with an experience today that I would like to share with you that was probably one of the most traumatizing, albeit necessary experiences that I have had with regard to spiritual attack. And the reason I'm going to share this with you is because this is when I saw the power of the animal kingdom and how they came to protect me and how quickly it worked. I've always been connected to the animal kingdom my whole life. Many of you already know, a lot of my story and my journey. And so I've been calling on them my whole entire life in different ways, but not in the way that I'm going to share with you today until this particular experience happened to me. And I think that it was a lesson for me in discernment, and just, maybe things to come in the future that I have experienced, and I have used this technique or what I'm going to share with you today, and it's helped me profoundly. The experience is a lesson, and it's embarrassing as in hindsight I look back and I can't believe that I was tricked in this way. But again, I'm human like everyone else, and I tend to see the good in people, and this particular person took advantage of me, and many, not just me. It wasn't that I wasn't the only target. So what happened was I was living in Maryland. Maybe how many years ago was this? Maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago or more. I don't know, maybe 7. I don't even know what year we're in. Anyways, doesn't matter. I had an experience, and a trusted friend at the time, who is no longer a friend, but at the time shared with me or introduced me to a woman. I'm not going to say any names because it doesn't matter. And this isn't a video meant to bash anybody. So I was introduced to a shamanic healer in the area that I lived in, who was very well known and would host training seminars and workshops to teach people how to do shamanic type healing, but other things as well. And so I decided to take this course with a friend, and I think it was 3 parts, and ultimately you would be on a master level, which I hate the word master, but you would have mastered her teachings and her variation, her own spiritual technique that was kind of shamanic, but other things mixed in. Anyways, after finishing 2 levels, which would be like an entire weekend, each level, something like that, where we had a good group of us, maybe 15, and we would pair up and we would do cord cutting ceremonies and spiritual scanning and all sorts of different shamanic techniques, and using, real props like chili peppers and handkerchiefs and, the machetes, like the true shamanic way, fire, all this stuff. So I quite enjoyed the training, and I did get a lot out of it. But the teacher was a dark witch, and a master level dark witch, who would siphon her students' energy, and through a process of teaching, she would gain more power from them by control and other ways. And I started to discern some behavior that she exhibited that I wasn't comfortable with, and someone in the beginning, but then I just thought the best of the person, and the way she acted was not the way I would have acted. But again, not everybody has the same teaching style, so I can't judge people based on the way they teach versus how I teach. So I kind of let a lot of things go. Just shrugged it off as, oh, her teaching style is a little bit different. Maybe she's a little bit more brash. I tend to be a very gentle leader, and very patient, and this woman was not that way. So anyways, we realized, several of us in the class realized at some point, that she was not who she said she was. somewhere around the time where we had a graduation ceremony from one level to another. And this should have been my biggest sign, where she gave us all witches brooms as our kind of ceremonial thing. I burned it later. That's a whole other thing, but I got rid of it and everything she ever gave me. But anyways, around that time was when I figured out that who she was and the illusion she was trying to hypnotize us and pretend she was something that she wasn't. Meanwhile, she was siphoning all of our energy, getting us sick, taking our money, and helping us or make what is the word I'm trying to think of? She would help. She was preventing us or blocking us from getting clients on our regular business, because all of us were in healers to some degree or had our own businesses, practices in some sort. So as soon as I realized who she was and what she was doing and that she was a dark witch, I just literally said, I'm not participating in your classes anymore. And that was the last. I didn't have any more communication with her after that. I blocked her, deleted every email we ever had together. I got rid of everything she ever gave me. And it was a really difficult 3 months after that of spiritual attacks, one after another. And I would hear this woman in my mind. She had a very witchy voice, very scratchy, very scary, taunting me and attacking me and my house. And, there were nights where I could feel her entering our space in the middle of the night. And she would do things like wake up the children or do things like that. And I would do everything I knew how to do to block her. And I was doing all of these things. I was creating these crystal grids. I was calling on the archangels. I mean, I was doing everything I know in my spiritual toolbox what to do. And there was this one particular night where I'd had enough, but I was also surrendering. I just did not know what to do, because what happened in that particular night was I was creating a crystal grid of energy around my house, the way and kind of my process. And I was focusing on all four sides outside of the home, to incorporate the house inside of it, and over top, almost like a pyramid. And in the moment while I was doing that, I'll never forget, I heard her in my mind laughing outside my house. And she made a comment to me telepathically, like, "Oh, you think I can't get through?" Laughing at me, saying, "You forgot the under part of the house." Basically, she's laughing at my grid because I didn't include the bottom of the house. I didn't think about it. I never was trained in such spiritual attack before, so I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. So immediately I panicked and I was in fear, and I knew that was a bad idea. And even if I gridded the bottom of my house at that point, I was in the vibration of fear. And I just felt this overwhelming sense of calm come through me, though. And I just heard or felt this voice and this feeling of call on the animal kingdom. And I didn't know what I was doing, or I had never been shown this before in this particular way, but I just knew in that moment what to do. Probably my higher self really was able to get through to me in that moment. And so what I did is I closed my eyes. I was sitting up in bed at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I said, I call upon the animal kingdom at this time to protect me. And I visualized, this is what came to me. I visualized all the animals that you can imagine just surrounding my house. And on the ground, in the air underneath the house, I literally could hear the elephant trumpet sound. I could hear the lion roar. I could hear birds making their sounds. And this was a matter of minutes, probably even seconds. And this lady was gone. And I felt so guarded and protected by all of the animals around the home. The energy shifted instantly, and she never came back. Ever, 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 never again. She was gone. These animals pushed her out, and they protected every morsel of energy of my property in a profound way that I couldn't have done on my own. I mean, I needed help at the time, and she never came back. And that's when I learned the power of the animal kingdom. And I just thought, oh my God, I was crying. I was so relieved, happy, and joy. And and then the adrenaline, rush faded, and it all at the same time. And it was such a profound experience. I was so grateful that, and basically in a roundabout way, they, taught me what I need to do in the future if this ever happens again. And I've taught this many times. When I work with children, I teach them the same thing. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I do and the process. In the beginning, it might feel like it's lengthy, but I promise you it doesn't take that long. It's all everything is in our intention and our visualization. And we combine the two, the intention, the visualization. It's just so powerful. And so what you'll do is, every night before you go to sleep, you are going to take a moment to sit in your quiet space, or just lay in bed before you go to sleep when you're laying down with your eyes closed, and you're quietly setting this intention and calling upon the animal kingdom. And what you do is you call upon the animal kingdom to guide and protect your property and your home, and you and your family in it, pets included, that are only in alignment with your highest good. So I'm calling upon the animal kingdom at this time to protect myself and my family and our property that are only in alignment with my highest good. And so it is in all dimensions, time and space. And so it is. And I'm going to explain why we're talking about all dimensions, time and space in a moment. But so then you're going to visualize your home and the property around it. And you're going to call upon the ground critters first. So you're going to imagine the lizards, the snakes, the insects, the ants, the spiders, and you're going to visualize all of the soil underneath your home and your property. Now, you want your whole property involved in this, and visualize them coming together like an army of soldiers that are in spiritual realm, but they are the animal spirits, and they are coming together, and they are surrounding your house underneath. They're everywhere in the ground to protect your property. The earth will protect as well. So the Mother Earth will get involved, and the soil will become protective soil, like a grid. The roots under the house and the trees will become protective energy as well, to create this sturdy grid of protection as well. Then you go to the land, and you're going to call upon the land animals that are going to come, and they'll start surrounding your house. So it could be, an elephant, it could be elephants, it could be zebras, it could be giraffes, it could be buffalo, it could be bears, it could be wolves, it can be coyotes, cougars, panthers, lions, tigers, any animal that you come to your mind. And if you don't have to think of the animal that's how they're there. You just say any and all animals that are going to surround my home on the land. And you'll see them, but if you don't, just because you don't say the specific animal doesn't mean they're not there. Sometimes you just close your eyes and you'll just start seeing them. You're not even asking for them specifically, and you'll start seeing just a zoo of animals all over. It could be deer. They don't have to be predators. They could be deer. They could be bunnies. They can be squirrels. They could be chipmunks. They can be beavers, raccoons. I mean, it could be any animals that come, but they are your army of guardians that are protecting your home energetically and physically. Then you're going to think about your surroundings. So if you have trees around, you'll look in the trees, and there are going to be snakes in the trees. There's going to be monkeys in the trees. There's going to be maybe some cats in the trees, or some, mountain lion in the trees, whatever animal, koala bear, whatever you see in the trees. Now we're working on the trees, and then the birds. And then on top of your roof of your house, you might have eagles up there. You might have an animal maybe there's a lion up there going in a circle. Whatever, maybe it's a dragon. There could be, interdimensional beings as animal spirits as well, dragons, fairies, whatever comes to your mind. Then in the air, we're gonna look for the ravens and the hawks and the eagles, whatever animals are flying in the air. And again, they don't have to be predators. They can be cardinals, hummingbirds, blue jays, whatever birds, they're just flying in the air. So now we have covered the surroundings, the air, the top of the house, the sides of the house, underneath the house. And then you're going to go in the house and you're going to call upon the spirit animal, the protector for each one of you in the home. And you visualize what that looks like, who comes. So for my son, and my middle son, he has a cheetah that stays in his room. That's his protector. This huge cheetah sits next to him when he's sleeping, because he's connected to the cat beings. Then we have, my daughter, she has a dragon in there, sometimes a wolf. My older son has a wolf. I have a lion that protects me. My husband also has a lion that protects him. So I visualize their animal in their room with them and protecting them as well, and guarding and protecting them in the physical sense. And when I say physical, they're not actually here physically, but trust me, what I mean by physical is if there is physical threat, there are people around in the neighborhood that might be attracted to robbing your home or, doing some nefarious acts, or you're targeted in some way, that energy is going to send a frequency out that says, don't go to this house. So it is essentially protecting you in the physical sense. You will be very safe and protected. You will feel it. And everyone else around will feel, like the bad people will not feel comfortable coming near your house or walking by. Anyone else will be indifferent to it. They'll just, they may not even notice, but they don't have any malintention, so it doesn't really matter. And then it's also going to protect in the astral space. So it will protect you. And I want you to get this visual so it really makes sense to you, because, this desk that I'm on or working with, and this wooden divider behind me, and the walls of my house, and the floor and the roof, they're all matter there, but they're all an energetic frequency that vibrates in the 3D. They're solidified. Like we touch it, we feel it. We don't walk through the walls. But the higher density and the higher frequency we are, matter doesn't exist, which is why there are people who can put their hand through a desk, who can levitate, who can walk through walls, because they are able to shift the cellular makeup, the structure, the physical matter. And it vibrates so high, so fast that they can do that. So if you imagine, everybody right now, just if you can, close your eyes, and I'm gonna show you something to help you kind of identify. If you think about yourself and whose home, the home that you're in, and just keep it to your street. So we don't want to make it too overwhelming. So just think, the length of your street, or a portion of your street. Maybe there's 15, 20 houses. So just focus on your neighbors across the street and this, row of houses, maybe 15 wide or so, 15 to 20. Now close your eyes and visualize the people in those homes. Maybe there's one person, maybe there's 5 people, maybe there's pets, who knows, but there's energetic people. There's people within them. Now take away the home. Take away just visualize the home disappearing. Boom, 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 boom. Every single home on that block of 15 and 20, they're now gone. The cars are gone. The gates are gone. The house is gone. The pools are gone. The backyard patio furniture is gone. The inside of the house is gone. And all that's left are the beings, the people, your neighbors, and the pets. So now imagine yourself in your street, and suddenly everybody that's home, their house is gone, and now we're all exposed, and we're looking at each other like, hey, where'd my house go? I don't know, and now we see each other and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so exposed. But that's just a metaphor of how in the quantum realm, the dark beings can get to us, because there is no matter. There's no walls to protect us. We have the illusion that the walls are protecting us, but in the quantum field, that's how they see us. They see us as a group. This is this group of people in this house, in this land, and over here, and across the street, and down the street, without the walls. So that's how we're exposed. So when I say that the animals are protecting you physically, but also astrally, when they actually protect, they are protecting you from the threats that of being exposed without the walls of your home, when that matter is dissolved, it's not actually there. You are not just sitting there completely vulnerable. This is what the animal kingdom will do for you. Of course, you can call upon your guardian angels and all the other beings and that you call upon, but I want people to recognize the power of the animal kingdom and what they can do for us. That is so profound. And many people don't know you can do this. And I want to do this special video today because I felt the need and a few times in the last 3 months to use this technique because I didn't feel safe in my home because I felt I was being attacked. I can always tell. And it was in the they're always in the middle of the night, and I feel some being next to me in my bed, and I'm feeling like I'm getting attacked. And I don't react. All I do is in the moment, I immediately call upon the animal kingdom. Maybe I've forgotten. Maybe I didn't call upon them before I went to bed, and I'm feeling threatened. And I say, I call upon the animal kingdom, and instantly they're there, and I feel safe. And these beings are gone, or they're not able to connect with me or hurt me. And then I reinforce the animal totem spirits within the home to make sure that all the other members of my family are protected as well. So it might seem lengthy in the beginning when you're doing it, maybe a couple of minutes, but the more you do it, the easier it will be and the faster. Like you'll get to a point where the next night you do it one night, the next night you say, okay, I'm calling upon the animal kingdom for my highest good to protect me. And you just have a quick visual of the underground, the ground, the air, and all around, and make sure it's reinforced. And you kind of check in, and you might even hear sounds. I have heard monkey sounds in my trees before in the middle of the night, and I'm like, oh, they're there. So you might hear it. If you don't, that doesn't mean that they're not there. You just don't hear it. You'll sense it. You'll have a lot of things to give you validation that they're there, and that will be much faster than the first time you do it. And then the third time or the fourth time, it might just be, I call up, you say it, and then boom, they're there. And it takes just the intention, just the thought is all you need. Every night, yep, my animal kingdom, not my animal kingdom, but the animal kingdom is here to protect me. And you give gratitude, of course. And if you get into a routine, then every night before you go to bed, you just imagine that they're all there. You say, and then you imagine that they're stationed in the rooms with you or wherever you're sleeping to keep you protected and safe. And especially if you travel a lot and you go to Airbnbs or hotels, I mean, those are the places where you just have no control of who's been there before you or the energy or the portals and all of that. So the best way you can handle those situations is to practice your own spiritual hygiene and protection, but you can also call upon the animal kingdom in those situations. If you're in a hotel, then you would just have them visualize them on the ground beneath you, the walls around you and above you. And then you can even ask them to be around the hotel, the whole vicinity of the hotel, or outside in the hallways. And they're there for your protection and for those people that are in alignment with the light and need protection as well. So you can call on their behalf as well. And you can do that in Airbnbs. You can do in hotels. You can do it during the daytime. It doesn't even need to be at sleep time. It can be during the day when you wake up. I call upon the animal kingdom to watch over my house and protect my house while we're all gone and work and no one's home. You can do that as well. There is no right or wrong way to do it. I just want people to recognize the power in it and how much the animals are willing and wanting for us to, one, recognize that they're there to help, and two, to call upon them, because we do have free will and they're not just going to intervene without our permission. And you don't have to say it out loud. You could just think, you don't have to say anything out loud. You can think it in your mind. I know there are some people out there saying you have to say things out loud. I've already talked about that. I don't believe that. I know it to be true because I rarely say things out loud, and I know it works for me. So, don't be afraid to call on the animals, and teach your children too. If you have children that have nightmares, tell them to call upon the animal kingdom. Tell them to not consent to any negative energies, entities, etc., and that attack them during the astral space. And then if you're not sure what animal is connected to them, then pick one for them. It's fine. You visualize and you might have you might have a subconscious knowing where you close your eyes and bam, there's a wolf or there's a cheetah or a lion or something, and visualize that animal next to their bed, or some of them will curl up at the end of the bed and just guard the children. So whatever they end up doing is fine. But if we don't do it, then we don't get their help. It's as simple as that. And I have done this so many times over the years, and it works 100% of the time. And I'm telling you, that witchy woman that attacked me and really made my life miserable for 3 months, she still would try to attack me outside of the home, but she never came back after that. And one night where I called upon the animal kingdom, and it was instant. I mean, instant, the help that I got, and she was gone. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. One of the most beautiful things. So I really felt inclined today to pivot from the 3D interference to, okay, we need protection right now because there are a lot of spiritual attacks right now. There's a lot of fighting going on in the spiritual community. I think people are on edge. People are feeling that they're being attacked as well, and they're on the defense. Some people are on the offense. Whatever the reason may be, everyone has their reason for what they're doing, so there's no judgment involved. But we don't want to get involved, and we want to do our best to kind of navigate the treacherous waters by, using discernment, continuing to ground as much as possible. The number one thing I seem to be getting in my sessions recently, it's just crazy, and I totally align with it. It's not crazy. It's just how much I'm hearing it recently, and I'm talking within the last month, is either I keep being told to tell this particular client, go out in the sun, go out in the sun, go out. And I keep saying it like a broken record. And I think that that's the most profound, one of the most profound ways we can heal right now and ground and connect to our light is through some version of heliotherapy. So you don't have to spend much time out there. 10 minutes is fine. No sunglasses, no sunblock, and you just, close your eyes and just let the sun heal you for 5 minutes, even if you only have 5 minutes. But, beneficial to do it, 4 or 5 days a week for 10, 15, 20 minutes if you can. So that helps as well to maintain our grounded and our centered and balance right now. It's really important because the more grounded and balanced we are, and we're anchored in our own light, and we are not consenting, and we reiterate every day, I do not consent to 3D interference or any entities or anything that is not of my highest good. And so it is, that was my point, in all dimensions, time and space. When you're calling upon the protection of the animal kingdom, and you say in all dimensions, time and space, you are protecting yourself in the dream space, in the astral, in the astral space, because your home is on, it happens to be, the land that our home is on, or just anywhere we are, there's multiple dimensions in the same space. They all inhabit the same space. So density is consciousness, dimensions is space. So if, like in this room that I'm sitting in right now, there may be many dimensions in the same space. So I want to be protected in all dimensions in the space that I am in, because I'm ultimately connected to the quantum space, which is infinite. And so when you say, in all dimensions, time and space, you're really kind of covering you're covering your not boundaries. That's not the right word. You're covering your, I don't know, your dimensions. You're covering more than just you're covering the multidimensional aspect of yourself. So if anyone watching this resonates with what I've said today, then please try it. Call upon the animal kingdom. They are willing and they want so much to help us. They can, and they each have their own powers. So if you're noticing animals come into you, I talked about this in my webinar recently. We all have spirit animals, just like we have spirit guides that come into our lives to help and guide us, during certain periods of growth, and experiences, the good, the tricky ones, the difficult ones, all of the above. And the animals will have their kind of unique characteristics and their specialties that can guide us, whether they're bringing bravery towards us, or they're bringing discernment towards us, or they're bringing protection. Whatever the animal is bringing forward, we need that. at the time. And that's why they come and they merge their energy with ours to give us that extra boost of what it is that we need. And when we are kind of aware that is a possibility to call upon them, you'll start to notice animals more and more. You know, I see the hummingbirds all the time that are constantly reminding me of my mission, and you know, not to get discouraged that things are taking longer than I want them, and all the beautiful messages that they bring. Since you know, for Aramis Creative Learning Center, so I see hummingbirds, and a lot of my clients tell me, "Oh my God, I see hummingbirds all the time." I think the hummingbirds are helping us transmute a lot of this energy. So if you're seeing cardinals a lot, or blue jays, or squirrels, or even animals in your mind's eye that aren't there, you know, that aren't physically there. Oh, I feel like in my peripheral, I see a lion, or, you know, a polar bear or something. That animal is with you for a reason. Sometimes other people will pick up on it, and you don't even realize it. And they're like, oh, I keep seeing a wolf around you. So other people might see it even if you don't. So just try to go into the quiet space and see what animal speaks with you. It speaks to you. And they will guide us right now. They protect us. They are absolutely incredible, and they will fight for you, and they will protect you, and they will push away these negative spirits effortlessly. I mean, just it's effortless for them to do such a thing. So I really hope I said everything I wanted to say, and I think I did, but I never say everything I wanted to say. Who am I kidding? But I try my best to say as much as I possibly can, without going on too long and on these tangents. So please try this if you feel like you resonate with it, and leave a message in the comments if you've done this before, or if you try it tonight or tomorrow and it works, or what your experience is. Let us all know. That's how we kind of build a community. We share our experiences, and if you have an idea that I didn't share or express, add that. I mean, there's so much to say, but I'm sure that there's more. But let's share with each other our advice and things that have worked and things that haven't worked, and we can help each other. That's what we're here for. So it was a pleasure to do this video for everyone today. I hope the message finds all of you well. Until next time, I'll go back to the 3D interference videos. I'll give you a quick idea of what's coming. So I'm going to talk about high frequency boys now. I talked about the Artemis group, but I'm going to get into the boys and what it's like to raise a spirited boy energy, and that divine masculine energy. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about narcissism and starseeds, and is there such a thing? And I'd like to talk about the fact that a lot of people are feeling alone, and why is this journey so lonely? So I'm going to get into some of those in the coming weeks. Monday, September 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing another Q&A, a live Q&A like I did a few weeks ago. So if you have questions, don't put it in this video, because I'm not going to go back and remember where I found a lot of these questions. Put it in the comments or the chat of the live stream kind of preview that shows that it's upcoming, and just start putting your questions there. And then I'll try to answer as many as I can. I'm going to get into suicidal thoughts, some more on animals, and a few other things in that live Q&A. So if you're reading the book right now and you have questions, things that you want me to clarify, or you want to talk more about, as far as 3D interference or anything in the book, we can also get into that as well. So we'll look forward to that. So enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, bye everybody.